It's a beautiful Wednesday morning and you are welcome to AM Cafe. I am Abayomi Adeyemi. Today's going to be an exciting one because we'll be discussing Nigeria at 64. Nigeria at 64. I mean, it's a great time, and it's a great time to be alive. Seeing Nigeria celebrating 64. Well, I am not alone in the studio. I'm here with my guest, Honorable Rasaki Adeosun. He's an evangelist and a renowned politician. Honorable Rasaki Adeosun, a renowned politician and an evangelist. Well, today we'll be talking about Nigeria at 64. Nigeria at 64. A day to remember, on the 1st of October 1960, Nigeria was granted full independence from Great Britain. The country received its freedom charter on the 1st of October 1960 from Princess Alexandra of Kent, the Queen's representative at the Nigerian independence ceremony. People that fought for independence. We have people like Ahmadu Bello, Nnamdi Azikiwe, Tafawa Balewa, Obafemi Awolowo, Albert Macaulay, Anthony Enao, and our great heroine, Funmilayo Ransome Kuti. They all fought for this independence that we are enjoying today. Well, we'll be talking in detail about this independence and Nigeria at 64 itself. And our guest, Honorable Rasaki Adeosun, is going to help us do justice to this focus today. Honorable, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Yes, sir.
Congratulations for the 64th anniversary of our nation, our nationhood. So, and I also want to congratulate our viewers.
Now, celebrating 64, I mean, from 1, 2, 3, 4 up to 64 is not a joke. But, sir, what has changed? I mean, celebrating 64, what has actually changed? In Nigeria as a country, what has changed?
Well, thank you. Interestingly, I share the same age with our nation.
Wow.
And for that reason, if you ask me what has changed about our nation, I better look at myself and then figure it out, what actually have changed with me. Nationhood, just like the way we grow as human beings, is an evolution. And Nigeria did not start in the year 1960. It started long ago. And we have had several constitutional conferences under our colonialists. But the difference between 1960 October 1 and now is that we have gotten our freedom. So when you are talking of freedom, even as a child, my freedom didn't come in the first 10 years. Because I was going through tutelage. As a child, I needed to crawl. As a child, I needed to learn walking. As a child, I needed to school. Various levels of schooling, step by step, until I became a university graduate. As a graduate, I left schooling and went into the world, as we used to call it. So the same thing in building nationhood. You have to start from the scratch and then continue to take it step by step. You need to develop your system of governance. We started with parliamentary, we gravitated to presidential. you needed to grow your infrastructure, you needed to grow your economy. So all those ones you have to take together to build nation. So we have our history, and by our history, I think we have actually changed. The whole world is changing. We're also changing.
Yes, we're evolving.
Yes, evolving.
Thank you, Honorable. Well, now, considering the people that actually fought for this independence that we are enjoying today, I mean, talking about the likes of Anthony Naro, Rafna Olowo, Nana Zikwe, Papa Macaulay, and all, would you say that this is the Nigeria they envisage? I mean, the kind of, or the type of Nigeria of country that they dreamt of. Would you say this is the Nigeria?
Well, at the time, we were growing at our own pace. The nation, we were made up of protectorates at the beginning.
Exactly.
And our different protectorates has their unique characteristics. The thinking of the Northern Protectorate, of the West, of all the protectorates differs. Because their leadership also differs then.
Exactly.
So they have different visions. But by 1914, there was an amalgamation. That was like a coercion. It was a marriage done by yes, it was the colonialists that felt the need for them to bring us together to be able to rule us. We were different, geographic entities before, but they brought us together. And sometimes it looks like marriage of a convenience. Sometimes it looks like marriage of inconveniences. So, but because we are now in the same boat, we had no option, and we entered into an accord to come together by virtue of our constitution that will remain an indivisible, one indivisible entity. So, by that charter, there's nothing anybody can do. There has been agitation. We have had to fight civil war. People wanted to secede from what they thought was a marriage of inconvenience for them. It's still going on now. The agitation is still going on now. But by and large, I think the founding fathers, they were subjected to the whims and caprices of the colonialists then. But when they brought us together, for us to succeed together, later we realized that the marriage can work, especially when you talk of the diversity of our culture. If you say you want to disintegrate, into how many will you disintegrate? Into how many? Because by the time you disintegrate, you have the northerners. You still find northern minorities.
Exactly.
If you disintegrate in the southwest, you still find the southwestern minority. Then by the time you get to the east, it becomes very worst, because you will see continue to the Jaw will talk, the Robo will talk, the Easterners will talk. So to how many? If you want to break now, into how many places will you like to break? So I think as an indivisible entity, we have been able to do justice to our nation, and our both the living and the dead of our founding fathers, they should be happy that Nigeria is still together, and that the foundation they laid is. But between you and I, we know that nationhood is not a day's job. It has to. We are building it.
Honorable, let me come in here. Yes. You mentioned our founding fathers. Would you say that if these people, let's say they are still alive now, would you say our nation, would you say our nation might be in a better place than what we have now? If they were still alive.
Alive or still in the saddle?
Yeah.
If they are alive, they can't be in the saddle because they will be alive but retired. But they will still be benefiting from their. Don't forget that.
Maybe people go to them for advice and all.
Well, I know where you are going. You are saying that we are supposed to be far beyond where we are.
I'm only asking.
Yes, you are. But remember, we have a large portion of our nationhood, interrupted by military rule. And that has to do with the need for us to still be together. Because the military, many times when they feel that things are going bad, they will come in and intervene. So those periods were a period where we were under military fiat. And for that reason, you cannot measure level of development by what the military has done to our democracy. So if you say 64 and you remove the years the military came in, you will know that our democracy, which is the best form of government up to now, was greatly distorted. For that reason, this is the longest time we have. We celebrated 25 years of uninterrupted democracy recently. To tell you that even for us, if you want to assess us, you can assess us based on 60 years. Yes. And even the democracy that we are practicing now, we are still trying to grow it because it's like there is no clear-cut political ideology. Somebody is today governor in PDP, is governor in DC tomorrow. That is the ideology there. So, but the founding fathers, they should be happy wherever they are, that the nation is still together. That it has not disintegration. That is the key word there. When you celebrate nationhood, when you celebrate your birthday as a person, you are celebrating your age, that you are not dead. Before you think of celebrating how many houses you have built, you have to celebrate the fact that you are alive.
It doesn't mean that your mind is not scattered.
But now as a nation, that we are together as a nation, we remain together as a nation, we have not been scattered by war and so many things, then you have to you celebrate your existence. Thereafter, you now think of, okay, now that I'm in existence as a nation, what have I achieved? You look at your political journey, how far have we gone? How far have we gone about our economy, which is a major challenge today?
We'll come back there.
So, thank you.
If you are just joining us, what we'll be discussing since is Nigeria at 64. Nigeria at 64. We've discussed about our founding fathers. We discussed about our growth as a nation. Yeah, and our guest that's speaking with us since is Honorable Rasaki Adeosun, a renowned politician. Yeah, he's been the one that's been talking with us on this focus since. Honorable, we are celebrating. Well, we are still in the
mood.
Exactly of celebration. We are celebrating 64. Now, do you really think we deserve celebrate this? I mean, this celebration. Do you think we deserve celebrating our birthday? Let me put it that way. Considering the fact that people are languishing in pain and hunger in the country today, do you think it's worth it? I mean, it's worth the celebration.
Well, I think.
Considering what people are going through.
Well, we will continue to celebrate. Like I said, celebrating our corporate existence, our existence as a nation, our nation. But you will agree with me that even when a nation is growing, you pass through stages in your development. Look at the speech of the president yesterday. Obviously, he admitted that things are not that Nigerians are not feeling comforted, but that we had to make a choice between confronting our challenges headlong or continue the window dressing, and then the economy will collapse later. You see, our circumstance now is that we have a leader who is ready to right all the wrongs. And in doing that, it will attract pains rather than continue to shy away from
the challenges.
What happens to people most times is that because they want to continue perpetually in governance, they are not able to take drastic steps that will get us on our path.
Facing the fears.
Exactly. Some leaders will fear, if I do this or that, they might not vote for me and might not come back to rule them again. But this is somebody who is saying, look, even if it is going to be this 4 years, said you should wait. If you consider a leader bad, wait for his tenure. So they vote him out after the first tenure. He was bold to say that. The implication is that even with this first tenure, he's ready to face our challenges and make sure that, because he has personal conviction about this, and this is the first time we have an economist, a wealth creator in government. Obviously, you will know that he is applying the very, very tough measures. He's doing what
policies.
He said it's about so many restructuring, economic restructuring. For instance, we are used to subsidy. He came and removed subsidy.
Exactly.
And what is subsidy supposed to do? Subsidy is like over pampering the economy. When you do subsidy, you are tending towards absolute monopoly. But if you want the interplay of demand and supply in your production system, Nigeria is becoming we are a dumping ground already. We are not producing anything. If you want to produce and you want to make sure that you attract foreign direct investment, you have to go away from a situation where you don't allow the forces of demand and supply to interplay in such a way that people will come in to compete with themselves in the market, and then factories, industries springing up all over the places.
Okay, now, honorable, do you think we are doing well, or we are moving forward in terms of our economic status in Nigeria?
The president is trying to lay a foundation. You cannot ask people to come and invest in an economy where subsidy regime continues. Because when you subsidize, you are not going to allow competitors to come into the market. The reality is that for you and I, for people who wants to come and invest in our economy, especially in the productive sector of our economy, you must give them the opportunity to compete. Opportunity to compete. The prices must be determined by the forces of demand and supply. You must go away from government doing business. Government has no business doing business. Because have you ever seen a government business in this nation that have succeeded?
Not at all.
It's not possible, because when you put people there, they make the place dry. But when you allow the private sector to come into the productive sector of the economy, everybody that has investment in the economy will protect his investment. But when you are not able to give them the enablement, the enabling environment to come and do business, they will not come to Nigeria. Many factories, industries have run away. We used to have tire manufacturing industries, they ran away. So many of our productive they close up. Even we don't have power that they can use to drive it, because power is left in the hand of the government. How do you think government can generate, can transmit and distribute effectively when people who are at the end of affair are prepared to be richer even than the nation? So what the president is doing is to make sure that you leave business to the business world, not the government doing business. Government cannot succeed doing business. It's not possible. The primary responsibility of government is security and welfare. And when you want to do that, what you do is the government will provide the enabling environment, the legal frameworks. You give people who participate from the public, from the private sector, legal framework to guide their investment, so that they will come in large number and grow our economy. That is the only way it can work. Let me give you a very critical example.
Okay.
Over the years in this nation, you have seen government go into transport business. Have you ever succeeded? When government go into transport business, the simple transport business in town, they have operated it has closed down. Because the driver that is driving the bus is ready to be richer than the company. The manager there is ready. So, but if it is a private, you see motor parks, if somebody will buy a bus today, will be having 4 buses in the next 6 years. Yes. But the government one will collapse. Practical example. So what the president is saying is, okay, we are producing oil, we have large quantity of oil reserve, we have gas, and yet we are importing. And this is an economy that is oil dependent. It's now saying, look, let the forces of demand and supply dictate price, so that investors can come in, local and foreign.
Okay, now, so look at the price of the fuel. The price of the fuel now is, it's skyrocketing. I don't want to say, because, you go there today, it's something else. You go there tomorrow, it's another price. It's skyrocketing. And you see, people are not even, seeing this money to purchase these PMS. So, how do you want these people, the citizens of the country, to celebrate while they are, while they are suffering? It's like suffering and smiling. So, how do you want these people to celebrate while they are suffering? They can't purchase food, they can't purchase fuel, So, how do you expect them to celebrate?
Well, I think the government should do more to cushion the effects of the economy policy that has just been introduced. But nobody in this country that is in his right senses has criticized the removal subsidy. Nobody.
Yeah, nobody. Yeah.
You agree with me?
Exactly.
Even while our presidential candidates were contesting, all of them agreed that it has to be.
Yeah, definitely.
But the government, because of the initial hardship that it tracked, the government should do more
to cushion the effect.
That we must do. Otherwise, if you don't do that, you are even going to depopulate, because we have had cases where people went to jump into the lagoon. Many people have died because of this hardship. Yes. So there must be concerted effort to make sure that the effect is pushing. So and I can see that government is coming up to do one thing or the other. That's look at the CNG buses.
Yeah, exactly.
Look at the little increment. I call it little increment in salary. Look at the palliatives. Look at all those things. But that's not the permanent solution to our problem. That is just spending the time that for the period of the gestation of the policy implementation. Then we should do a lot. We should do a lot more, especially in the area of agriculture. In the area of provision of food supply, because if people don't have, if there is a food inflation, everybody is affected. The people at the lowest of the low, they are affected. That must be addressed drastically, and that is why the president is encouraging governors to go into agriculture, because the federal government does not have land to farm. Land is in the custody of the state governments. So let us farm. Sometimes it portrays us as a lazy people. When you have fertile land, And you see that we still import food from smaller countries. It's what I think that is why the reason why the president is trying to make sure that there is a national conference for the youth, because that is our agile population.
Yeah.
Let them understand the need for them to be productive too, because as at now we have large army of unemployed graduates.
Exactly.
And we have potential in agriculture.
All right.
Do you know that our youth does not want to hear about agriculture? What is the reason? They are refusing it because we have not been able to let them know that this thing is going to be moved away from primitive farming to modern farming, where the youth will be interested. And when they are aware that there is so much return on investing in agriculture, they will go there. So our population must be moved to production. That is the reason why China is going places, because they deploy their population into productive sector. Whatever China is producing, the price will come down across the globe. When you see China produce an item, they will bring down the price globally, because they have the advantage of their population. So for us, as in Nigeria, we have the advantage of population, but where is our agile youth? What exactly is their focus now? They want to get rich with. They are interested in cybercrime. They are interested. Even those ones that are not well educated, their major business now is to run Okada. When we have our comparative advantage in agriculture is our strength. How can we have so much farmable land and then we are importing food? It's like we are cursed. So the president is now saying, let us assemble the youth for 1 month and then reorientate them and let them know the right thing to do, because it is their future. Anybody who is as old as Nigeria now should be winding up. What else does he want to do? But the youth who to whom tomorrow belongs to, they should take their future in their hands. That's what the president is saying. But the initial hardship is what is trying to make it look as if the president is wicked. This is the most realistic president that Nigeria has ever had. Most realistic. Somebody will say, let us face our challenges headlong. Let us not shy away from what we are supposed to do. If you like, vote for me. If you like, bring me again. If you like, send me away. But this 4 years, I'm going to do the right thing.
Okay, Honorable. We've talked about the economic sector. We've talked about the agricultural sector. We've talked about all sector. Now, you made mention of graduates and all. So that will make me actually come to the educational sector. Now, I think some few weeks ago, the federal government came up with a policy that any student that is not up to 18 years should not be given admission into a university. Any student that is not up to 18 years should not be given admission into university. And when you look at it, we have so many students that they round up their secondary school year at the end, maybe at the age of 16 or so. So now the federal government said, if these students are not up to 18, they should not be given admission into the university. What can you say about this, sir? Do you think it's the right thing to say or to do, that if a student is not up to 18 years, he or she should not be given admission into the university? Do you think it's a good thing?
Well, the way our democracy works, the decision is not that of the president, the decision is that of the National Assembly. I suppose you know that the decision is that of the National Assembly. And when the National Assembly takes a decision, They are the elected representative of the entire citizens of this country. And before that, they will throw it open because in the house they will be they will even be they will invite stakeholders to come and discuss it. They discuss, and later they take it to the house. They have their reason for doing that. Maybe global best practices. So I think when there is a policy decision, those people that are affected, the effect, especially the transitional period, is what we should focus. Already a decision has been taken by the elected representative of the people, so that's the best decision for this country. But what effect has it gotten on the children? What effect has it gotten on those people who are actually in the business of education? So that is the area that we must focus. For those 2 years, those people that graduated, what would they be doing?
Exactly.
Is there an arrangement for the
let's say a student graduates at the age of 16?
Yes.
So he or she has to wait for 2 years before going to the university. So
what is it going to do with the 2 years? That is, I think that is what should be addressed. And people in the school system, the business of education, is going to affect them. What are they supposed to do? So once there is a decision taken together as a nation, it's in the best interest of that country. Because people sitting, we have 360 people sitting down, we have senators, and they went all the way to formulate a policy. And so each time there is a policy decision, the right thing for us to do is to look at the effects of the policy, especially during the period of overlap. So that's to me. But the policy is children actually want to. Even parents, they want their children to move fast. But sometimes the load that our children carry now, the load that they carry is even more than their strength. And if you don't watch it, if you overload a child, you give him a task that is above his age, you can give him depression. I have a child who set a target for himself. He said, "Daddy, I want to be a professor at 30." Okay? And he started on it. And he's driving it. I was watching him do it the way, and he's at 26 now. He has finished his master's. He's already a lecturer.
Wow, at 26.
Yes, he lectures at Wisconsin University, Madonna, in the US. So but at a time, we had to get a consultant for him to manage his he had certain emotional disability, because initially I said, okay, you guys, Mr. Man, I want you to go and study architecture. When he was about to finish architecture, he made it known to me that this certificate is your own and that I want to go and study literature. And it's not a lecturer in fiction, imaginative writing.
Fiction?
Yes. So
those are writings that are not real.
Exactly. Imaginative writing. Yes. So he was carrying a load heavier than his age, and it affected him, and he had to go for psychological.
Exactly, yeah.
You can understand what I'm saying.
Yes.
So the reason why this decision is taken is in the best interest of the children. Because they are moving faster than they should.
Okay, Honorable. Yeah. Fún àwọn èèyàn tó ń bẹ nílé tí wọn ò gbọ́ fìtì ní èdè Gẹ̀ẹ́sì tí à ń sọ. Ohun tí a ti ń sọ láti òwúrọ̀ ni wípé à ń ṣe àjọyọ̀ orílẹ̀-èdè wa, orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà tí ó pé ẹ̀ẹ́rìnléníọgọ́ta tí a pé àjọyọ̀ ni à ń ṣe. Ìdí nìyí tí a fi pé bàbá wa honourable Rasaki Adeosun, wọ́n jẹ́ olóṣèlú àgbà olóṣèlú ni wọ́n. Èyí ni a fi pè wọ́n láti bá a sọ̀rọ̀ nípa àjọyọ̀ tá à ń ṣe gẹ́gẹ́ bí orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà tí a pé ẹ̀ẹ́rìnléníọgọ́ta. Honourable wa, a kàn fẹ́ kẹ́ ẹ bá wa sọ fáwọn tó ń bẹ nílé ní ṣókí ní èdè àbínibí wa. Àjọyọ̀ tá à ń ṣe yìí, àjọyọ̀ ẹ̀ẹ́rìnléníọgọ́ta tá à ń ṣe yìí, ṣé gẹ́gẹ́ bí orílẹ̀-èdè, ṣé àjọyọ̀ ṣé ayẹ ní ẹni tó ń yẹ kó máa ṣe àjọyọ̀ yìí? Tá bá rí i pé bá ṣe mọ̀ wípé bá ṣe wà gẹ́gẹ́ bí orílẹ̀-èdè báyìí, àwọn tó jẹ́ ọmọ orílẹ̀-èdè wa gangan ebi ń pa wọ́n, ìyà ń jẹ wọ́n, ṣé a wá tọ́ ní ẹni tó yẹ kó máa ṣe àjọyọ̀ yìí?
Olóòtú ṣe mọ̀ pé ẹni tí ò kú òun ló ní igbó òkè, òun ló ní igbó òkè ọ̀hún. Àwa gan gẹ́gẹ́ bí èèyàn tá a bá ní a fẹ́ ṣe ayẹyẹ ọjọ́ ìbí, ayẹyẹ ọjọ́ ìbí tá à ń ṣe yẹn, a kọ́kọ́ ṣe ayẹyẹ ọjọ́ ìbí pé a wà láyé, a wà láàyè, ká tó wá máa sọ pé mo wà láyé tó tọ́, níbo mo wà, ibo mo bá dé, ibo ni mò ń bá a lọ. So ní gbogbo ọ̀nà a ní aláyọ̀ láti lè tiẹ̀ kọ́kọ́ sọ pé Nàìjíríà o, láti ọdún tí a ti gbòmìnira o, tá a sì ní abẹ́ àwọn amúnisìn mọ́ o, à ń ṣàjọyọ̀ pé a sì ní abẹ́ amúnisìn ni, pé a ti dá dúró. So nígbà tá a bá dúró yẹn o, àdúró tọ́ ni o, agbọn ni o, ẹsẹ̀ wa dúnlẹ̀ kò dúnlẹ̀, a kọ́kọ́ dúpẹ́ pé pàtì ẹ̀ kọ́kọ́ dúró ná, pa kọ́kọ́ wà láyé, a wà láàyè. So nǹkan tó dáa ni pé ẹ sì rí i pé ńgbà míì náà àwa gẹ́gẹ́ bí orílẹ̀-èdè tá a bá fẹ́ ṣe àjọyọ̀, ńgbà míì a sọ pé àjọyọ̀ ta ìfún gan ọjọ́ ìbí téèyàn máa ń ṣe gẹ́gẹ́ bí ẹnì kọ̀ọ̀kan yẹn, ọjọ́ ìbí mi ní ọdún yìí, kò sẹ́ni tó sọ fún yàn kéèyàn tó kólú jáde ní ọdún téèyàn ó kólú jáde, torí ẹ ti rí i pé gbogbo nǹkan tí wọ́n máa ń fi kólú jáde níbẹ̀ ńlẹ̀ àbúrò ọmọpa tẹlómi látọ̀sẹ̀ kan ló sọ pé ẹ tètè máa bá ń kó kánópì bọ̀, ẹ tètè máa bá ń ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ tóró ní, ṣùgbọ́n yóò tẹ̀ kọ́kọ́ dúpẹ́ pé òun kọ́kọ́ wà láyé. So Nàìjíríà dúpẹ́ pé ó wà láyé, bóyá ńgbà tó wà láyé yẹn o, bóyá láti wá ṣayẹyẹ yẹn, bóyá yóò àdókò nù pálọ̀ rẹ̀ ni yóò rọra máa dúpẹ́ ní ọwọ́ Ọlọ́run, tàbí orí awọ ni ó wà, tàbí ṣọ́ọ̀ṣì ni ó wà, tàbí mọ́sálásí èèyàn tó, bóyá yóò á máa fò káàkiri pọnpọnpọn ni o, tó ní nǹkan ayọ̀. So ó ṣeé ṣe kí bí nǹkan ṣe rí lórílẹ̀‐èdè kó má gbà wá láàyè láti lọ́ọ́ máa mu ọtí wáìnì, nítorí wípé ẹni tí ó bá ra ọtí wáìnì gan nísìn yóò yẹ àpò rẹ̀ wò dáadáa. So ó ṣeé ṣe kó jẹ́ pé omi ni èèyàn rà gbé síwájú tí ó mọ̀ sẹ́mu wípé mo dúpẹ́ Nàìjíríà wa yìí o, ibi tí a ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ àti ibi tí a bá dé o, nítorí wípé àìrẹ́rìn orílẹ̀-èdè tí ẹ̀ ń sọ òun náà ni pé ọrọ̀ ajé wa ó mẹ́hẹ̀. So nígbà tó sì wà mẹ́hẹ̀ yẹn, àsáǹsì ń bẹ ní ayé, a sì mọ̀ wípé bí ó bá yá yóò tún ìgbà ni ó fẹ́ wá nù, bó bá yá yóò fẹ́ lọ. Eléyìí tágbára wa ọ̀ká gan ó fẹ́ lọ, àbí nígbà tá a wà ní 2020 tí COVID fẹ́ wá,
ó tún fẹ́ lọ fún ara rẹ̀,
ó tún fẹ́ lọ. Gbogbo ẹni tó sì ṣẹ́kù wọ́n dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run pé mo dúpẹ́ pé COVID ò gbé mi lọ, àbúrò ọmọ pa. So eléyìí náà tó dé a láti dúpẹ́ wípé Ọlọ́run dá wa sí, pàápàá tí orílẹ̀-èdè wa nǹkan tí ṣẹ́rí tí ẹ bá àwọn tí nǹkan àkọ́kọ́ láyé ni pé àkọ́kọ́ wà lálàáfíà, kó má sógun, kó má ṣọ̀tẹ̀, kó má sí gbọdọ̀ ń ro sọ, torí tó bá jẹ́ pé ogun bá wà béèyàn lówó lọ́wọ́ gan kò lè kọ́ gbọ́dọ̀ kówó ìjà, ṣùgbọ́n nísìnyí àwa ní orílẹ̀-èdè wa sì wà lẹ́yọ kan, a sì nínú ogun ìbá ti jagun lórílẹ̀‐èdè a sì nínú ogun a sì nínú fìtínà àwọn wàhálà pẹ́pẹ́pẹ́ wà káàkiri ṣùgbọ́n kò dá orílẹ̀‐èdè wa àkọ́kọ́ nìyẹn a láti dúpẹ́ pé a wà ní Nàìjíríà wà lálàáfíà pé Nàìjíríà wà lálàáfíà kò sí pàkàlẹ́kì.
ẹ ṣé gan honourable wa òun láti gbọ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ lẹ́nu honourable Rasaki Adeosun wípé kí a tiẹ̀ dúpẹ́ wípé orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà wa ó wà ní ààyè ó wà ní àlàáfíà kò sógun kò sọ́tẹ̀ a sì wà ní ìṣọ̀kan Yorùbá Haúsá Ìgbò gbogbo wa a sì wà ní ìṣọ̀kan kò sí pé bóyá à ń yára wa àbí kíní a sì wà ní ìṣọ̀kan ìyẹn ó tó kẹbi ọpẹ́ ó dẹ̀ tó kí a ṣe àjọyọ̀ nípa ètò ọrọ̀ ajé wa tó mẹ́ẹ̀ ó tún máa rọrùn ó máa rọrùn láṣẹ Elédùmarè. Due to our time constraints, we won't be able to go further than this. But first, we must appreciate the people behind the success of this program. Right from our cameraman, I want to thank you for making sure that this program is a success. And also our producer, Shola Ogunleye, our splicing producer, Adesoye Awodeji, and also our executive producer, Adeola Adebayo. I want to say thank you for making sure that this program is a success. Our guest, Honorable Rasaki Adeosun, thank you for coming on our show today.
Thank you, it's a pleasure.
Thank you so much. I still am your host, Abayomi Adeyemi. Join us tomorrow for another exciting edition of AM Cafe. For now, I'll say good morning.